Young and the Restless spoilers. Stitch brings danger to Abby and Mariah. Young and the Restless spoilers hint that something is off with Ben Rayburn, Stitch, Sean Carrigan. Since his return to town, he is lurking around Abby Newman, Melissa Ordway, and Mariah Copeland, Cameron Grimes. He says he is doing well. However, he describes a life that sounds quite depressing. It seems there is more going on with his return than he is talking about on the CBS soap opera. Young and the Restless spoilers. Stitch watches Abby and Mariah. Since Stitch showed up in town, something has been off. Ben Rayburn stood outside of the Chancellor's estate several times and looked into the windows. Ray hid in the shadows as he watches both Abby and Mariah inside the home. Stitch also keeps running into Mariah. Their encounters are awkward. At first glance, it appears as a coincidence. However, there is surely more to the story. Dr. Ben Rayburn reports that he is visiting for a friend's party on Young and the Restless. But why would the writers bring Stitch back to town just to have him leave again so quickly? Mariah and Abby have been polite when they run into Ben Rayburn. However, they will become suspicious if these accidental meetings continue to unfold. Stitch Rayburn made a point to stop by to tell Abby goodbye, but is he really leaving town? Young and the Restless scoops hint that we have not seen the last of Ben by far. Ben still pining for Abby per YNR News. Ever since Dr. Rayburn's return, he appears smitten with Abby Newman. Stitch brought a gift for the baby she is expecting. Then, Ben invited the Newman heir to accompany him to a party. However, she declined the offer. Nonetheless, every time they are together, Ben Rayburn looks at her with love in his eyes. There is no doubt Stitch still has strong feelings for his ex-wife. He is currently single and appears to be longing for a reunion with Abby. Per Young and the Restless News, it seems Stitch Rayburn is focused on the mother-to-be. He is definitely beginning to behave like a stalker. However, how far will Stitch's creepy behavior go? Young and the Restless updates. Baby in danger? Longtime viewers will recall that Abby was pregnant with Ben's baby during their marriage. His son Max caused Abby to fall down the stairs, which led to a miscarriage. It was determined that Max had a brain tumor that caused his destructive behavior. However, the couple was not able to bounce back from the tragedy on Young and the Restless. So has Stitch become obsessed with Abby's baby now? It would explain his strange behavior. Ben could be plotting to kidnap Mariah and her unborn child. While this is just one theory, it would help viewers understand why he has returned to Genoa City. He could still be mourning the loss of his baby with Abby. Ben Rayburn has also said that his son did not recover well from the surgery to remove his brain tumor. And Ben reported that Max's condition is worsening. So Stitch could think of Abby's baby as a replacement for the child he is about to lose. So, the question remains, is Ben obsessed with the baby? Or is there another reason behind Ben Rayburn's odd actions on Young and the Restless? Time will tell, as the Abby and surrogate Mariah story could take an exciting turn. Watch the CBS Sudzer Daily to see exactly what Stitch Rayburn is up to on Young and the Restless. The best and brightest Young and the Restless spoilers can be found on Soap Dirt. The return of Stitch unleashes terrifying danger on Abby and Mariah. Genoa City's nightmare resurfaces. Dr. Ben Stitch Rayburn's obsession turns deadly. Genoa City is reeling, and the idyllic dream of a perfect family for Abby Newman Abbott Chancellor, Melissa Ordway, has been shattered by a terrifying blast from the past. The shocking return of Dr. Ben Stitch Rayburn, Sean Carrigan, Abby's ex-husband, which initially seemed like a cordial reunion, has spiraled into a nightmare that has put the lives of both Abby and her surrogate, Mariah Copeland, Cameron Grimes, in grave danger. This is not the familiar, kind-hearted doctor everyone remembers. This is a man consumed by grief, delusion, and a desperate, terrifying obsession with the baby Abby is expecting. For weeks, viewers have watched with mounting anxiety as Stitch's behavior grew increasingly erratic. He returned to town, claiming to be visiting a friend, but his actions spoke a much darker truth. Lurking in the shadows of the Chancellor estate, his eyes fixated on Abby and the visibly pregnant Mariah, his presence was a chilling omen. Fans immediately sensed a sinister motive behind his sudden reappearance, a fear rooted in the tragic past of his marriage to Abby. The scar of a lost child, a motive born of heartbreak. Longtime viewers will recall the devastating tragedy that destroyed Stitch and Abby's marriage. Abby was pregnant with Stitch's child, but a terrible accident, caused by Stitch's troubled son, Max, resulted in a miscarriage. The loss was a wound that never truly healed, driving the couple apart and ultimately leading to Stitch's departure from Genoa City as he moved to Iowa to care for Max, who was suffering from a brain tumor that caused his destructive behavior. Now, years later, Stitch returns to find Abby in a state of fragile happiness, awaiting the birth of her first child via a unique surrogacy arrangement with Mariah and sperm donor Devin Hamilton, Brighton James. For a man still mourning the loss of his own baby with Abby, the sight of his ex-wife on the cusp of motherhood has triggered a profound and dangerous psychological break. The spoilers confirm our worst fears. Stitch is not here to catch up, he is here for a replacement. Mariah's nightmare, kidnapped and isolated. The storyline hit its shocking peak when Mariah, nearing the end of her pregnancy, vanished. Initially, her disappearance was dismissed by those closest to her, Abby, Tessa, Kate Fairbanks, and even Sharon Case, as a sudden need for me time, thanks to a series of misleading texts sent from Mariah's phone. But the messages were too short, too unlike Mariah, and the truth has now exploded onto the screen. Mariah Copeland has been kidnapped. The horrifying reality is that Stitch, driven by his monstrous need to give Abby the family she lost, a family with him, has orchestrated this terrifying abduction. He has Mariah locked away in a secluded location, entirely cut off from the outside world. The fear and isolation Mariah is experiencing, nearing her due date, is palpable. She's not just a surrogate, she's a Newman and a deeply beloved member of the community, and her sudden silence has finally convinced her family that something is dreadfully wrong. Abby's agony and the looming threat. Abby, already anxious with her husband Chancellor, Donnie Boaz, away on a top-secret mission, is now consumed by panic. Her initial polite interactions with Stitch have given way to cold dread as the pieces of the puzzle begin to fit together. Stitch's bizarre lingering, his overly attentive concern, and his constant inquiries about the baby's well-being suddenly seem less like friendly interest and more like the calculated surveillance of a predator. What is Stitch's ultimate plan? The spoilers suggest a truly chilling scenario. He intends to keep Mariah captive until she gives birth, at which point he will likely steal the baby and present it to Abby, positioning himself as the hero who saved the surrogate and brought the child home. The delusion is that this act will somehow erase the past tragedy, mend his broken marriage, and secure his place in Abby's life. But this plan is steeped in danger for everyone involved, especially Mariah, whose mental and physical state is deteriorating rapidly. The search intensifies, a race against time. As the danger intensifies, the residents of Genoa City are finally mobilizing. Ray Rosales, Jordi Villasuso, and the rest of the Genoa City Police Department are now treating Mariah's disappearance as a full-blown missing person case, with kidnapping as a strong possibility. Devin, the baby's biological father, is beside himself, pouring his resources into the search. Sharon, Mariah's mother, is a wreck, her maternal instincts screaming that her daughter is in dire straits. The question now is not if Stitch is the culprit, but when the shocking truth will be revealed and, more importantly, will they find Mariah and the baby before it's too late? The longer Mariah is held captive, the greater the risk to her and the unborn child. The delivery could happen at any moment, and the thought of Stitch delivering the baby alone in a hidden, isolated location is enough to send shivers down any viewer's spine. A high-stakes confrontation awaits. The climax of this terrifying storyline promises to be an explosive confrontation. When Abby discovers the full extent of Stitch's deception and obsession, her grief will turn to fury. The hero cop fantasy he is building is about to collapse into a tragic reality. The drama is set to hit fever pitch as the search closes in on Stitch's hiding spot. Will Ray be the one to burst in and save the day? Will Abby follow her instincts and confront her delusional ex-husband herself? Or will Mariah, drawing on her inner strength and survivor's spirit, find a way to escape her captor? This storyline is a masterclass in soap opera suspense, resurrecting a painful past and transforming a once sympathetic character into a truly dangerous villain. The stakes couldn't be higher. 2 women's lives, a newborn baby, and the entire Abbott Newman Chancellor Hamilton family's future hang precariously in the balance. Genoa City's most shocking news is unfolding now, and the dramatic outcome is one that no one will see coming. Get ready for heart-stopping drama, because Stitch's terrifying plan is reaching its devastating conclusion. Next week. Spoilers. Victor threatens Chelsea as she gets walking papers. Young and the Restless spoilers reveal Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, supports Chelsea Newman, Melissa Claire Egan, getting out of Fairview the week of July 12th to 16th. She blackmailed the Newman patriarch to get what she wants. But Victor makes his expectations clear for Chelsea. Also, someone messes with Nate Hastings, Sean Dominic, and Elena Dawson's, Brittany Sarpy, relationship on the CBS soap opera. Young and the Restless spoilers week July 12th. Victor Newman lays down law to Chelsea Newman. Chelsea Newman was able to avoid prison time with Victor Newman's help. Recall, Victor bribed a doctor to indicate that Chelsea had a breakdown. The doc said Chelsea needed mental health treatment thanks to Victor, rather than prison. However, Chelsea languished in the hospital ever since, angry at Victor and the world. Now, Chelsea Newman's convinced she will never be a free woman again. Young and the Restless spoilers showed Chelsea Newman, with Chloe Mitchell's, Elizabeth Hendrickson, help, was able to force Victor Newman's hand. But, Victor isn't happy about the turn of events. So, Victor will let Chelsea know it next week on YNR. However, Adam Newman, Mark Grossman, supports Chelsea's desire to get out. He even brought their son to visit Chelsea in the park on Young and the Restless. Despite Adam's support, Victor Newman has a few caveats for Chelsea Newman. He's not going to let Chelsea run amok. So, Victor gives her some warnings about her behavior. For now, though, Chelsea won't even be in Genoa City. The Young and the Restless writers contrived a story where Chelsea's mom, Anita, broke her hip. So, Victor and Adam tell Chelsea Newman goodbye for new as Missy Egan exits for maternity leave. But if Chelsea Newman tries to pull anything while she's gone, or on her return, she will face the wrath of Victor Newman. Nate and Elena fight against a third wheel on YNR. Elena and her on-again boyfriend Nate are back together on Young and the Restless. Recaps remind that the pretty doctor slept with Devon Hamilton, Brighton James, whom she cheated on with Nate. But he decided to give her another chance. So, this couple weathered their fair share of drama. But they seem to be back on track. They even enjoyed an evening out with Devon recently. However, before the couple's reunion on Young and the Restless, Nate met Imani Benedict, Leon Rose. They flirted, and she was obviously interested in getting to know him better. But now that Elena is back in the picture, things will get dicey. Imani is a woman who goes after the things she wants. Per Young and the Restless updates, Imani will be the third wheel. She will become a thorn in the lover's side soon. Will they weather this latest threat to their relationship? Or will Imani try to steal Nate away the week of July 12th to 16th on YNR? Elena must watch out for Amanda Sinclair's, Miss Hale Morgan, shady sister for sure. Young and the Restless spoilers, Ray Rosales' new assignment. Now that everyone knows who poisoned Ray Rosales, Jordi Villasuso, he has a lot of time on his hands. But according to YNR News, the GCPD detective will be assigned a new case soon. Now, Mariah Copeland, Cameron Grimes, hasn't been seen in a couple of days. Her loved ones are worried about her. She has not returned their texts or calls. So, is the pregnant redhead missing? If so, Ray would be the one to try to find her. She is his stepdaughter, so he will have extra motivation to make sure she is okay. Ben Rayburn has behaved strangely since his return to Genoa City. So Stitch is the primary suspect if something nasty has happened to the surrogate. However, there have also been hints that Chelsea Newman is up to something on Young and the Restless. She has blackmailed her way out of the hospital. So Victor worries she may try to snatch Connor Newman, Judah Mackey, then leave town with the boy. So, there's always the chance that she's the case Ray lands. Adam doesn't believe his ex would do such a thing. But viewers know Chelsea Newman still is paranoid and out for revenge. So, Chelsea may do something else to put herself on the wrong side of the law despite Victor Newman warning her to watch her step. No matter what the reason, next week we'll see Ray begin to work a case that has big ramifications in town. Young and the Restless will be full of action and adventure next week. So keep watching the CBS soap opera to see Victor make all the rules as Nate and Elena face a new obstacle to their happiness. For the most current Young and the Restless spoilers, check Soap Dirt's Genoa City. Victor delivers final ultimatum to Chelsea as Newman Media implodes. The seismic shakeups in Genoa City have reached a terrifying new peak, and at the center of the latest shockwave is Chelsea Lawson, Melissa Claire Egan, whose tenuous connection to the Newman empire is about to be violently severed by the one and only Victor Newman, Eric Braeden. Forget subtle maneuvers or boardroom debates. Whispers from behind the scenes confirm that the mustache is done playing games. He is reportedly set to deliver a crushing, non-negotiable ultimatum this week that will force Chelsea to choose her career, her loyalty, or her freedom. Insiders are buzzing that this isn't just a threat, it's the brutal delivery of her walking papers, setting up a high-stakes, emotional confrontation that will redefine her life and fracture the Newman family yet again. Fans have long watched Chelsea struggle to balance her desire for a fresh, stable start, especially for her son, Connor, with the magnetic, chaotic pull of Adam Newman, Mark Grossman, and the perpetual shadow of the Newman family's ruthless patriarch. She accepted a role at Newman Media alongside Adam, believing she could forge a new path and keep her family close. But in Genoa City, working for Adam is synonymous with working against Victor, and the mustache has a notoriously short fuse for anyone he perceives as a threat or, worse, a divided loyalist. The tension has been building like a Category 5 storm. Victor's ongoing, aggressive maneuvers against Newman rivals, particularly Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, have put Chelsea in an impossible bind. Her complex on-again, off-again bond with Billy, rooted in their shared son Johnny, has always been a soft spot, a weakness Victor is clearly ready to exploit. The loyalty test Chelsea cannot pass. Victor's threat is less about Newman Media's quarterly earnings and more about absolute fealty. For the legendary tycoon, family is everything, but loyalty to him is loyalty to family. Chelsea's recent efforts to temper Adam's aggression toward Billy, coupled with her growing professional independence, have made her a liability in Victor's eyes. He sees her as a potential leak, a saboteur, or simply a distraction clouding Adam's judgment. Next week's pivotal scenes reportedly open with Victor summoning a nervous Chelsea to his office at Newman Enterprises. The granite-faced patriarch won't waste time on pleasantries. The subject: her perceived softness towards Billy. Victor's chilling words will reportedly make it clear. She must immediately distance herself from any support of Billy, sever all personal ties, and, most shocking of all, use her position at Newman Media to actively undermine him. If she refuses to become his reluctant double agent, he has the power to not only fire her but to make her life in Genoa City a living hell. This is her walking papers, delivered with a verbal thunderclap, leaving her career, and possibly her ability to stay near her sons, hanging by a thread.